Oh, okie dokie. Let's see if that's better. Yeah, that looks better. That looks a much more better. All right, let's get some light shed on this situation here. There we go. All right, now let's see. Make sure I'm transmitilating right side up, wrong side down, whichever way from Sunday. Yeah, apparently my brain and my camera are not. There we go. We're working. Now we're cooking with gas. Alrighty then. All right, so. Hello, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and hi, Mary, thank you for coming back. It is 7 o'clock on Saturday, which means it's time for a video on Facebook, and I have a fun little collage card here. Hey, Jean, hi, Karen, appreciate you joining. Hello, Holly, hi, Jeannie. I just have to ask you guys, do you guys get tired of these kinds of cards with the fall leaves? I mean, I can't help it very much right now. It's fall. I got to do fall leaves because I love them. But do you get tired of the collage cards? That's all I'm asking. Hey, Faith. Hey, Pam. Hi, Janie. Appreciate you guys coming, and sorry for that initial blip. I was looking at the screen as I pushed the button, and I'm like, okay, all of the buttons are in the wrong spot. Hello, Carol. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, and thank you for that. Okay, so I'm going to keep the collage cards coming. They're good. I'm very happy about that. Okay. All right, so this one uses a couple of different things. We start with, well, we don't start with it, but I have the happy birthday sentiment from One Happy Family, and it's a single sentiment card. I've only got happy birthday on the front and then just the leaf image on the inside so that I can write my note. And I have Pretty Pumpkins with the Detailed Pumpkins die, which is a nice little bundle in the mini. And what could very well be one of my favorite sets of all time is Gorgeous Leaves with the intricate leaves dies that go with. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started. I've got a couple of little coloring techniques to show you today, so I hope you will like them. And it's all very vanilla on very vanilla on very vanilla. The baby shower was awesome. It was wonderful. You know, they're twins, so Chris and Matt are twins, and Chris and his wife, who are the expectant couple, they live up this direction, so we see them more frequently. Matt and Caitlin live down near Perry, and we don't get to see them very often. In fact, Caitlin and I were discussing today that I think the last time we saw them was at their wedding over a year ago, which is really too long. So it was really good to see them, and I hope we don't see them for a year again. We need to make that not happen. All right, so like I said, but thank you for asking. It was really, really nice. We've got some thick, very vanilla for the card base. And then I have very vanilla mats and very vanilla card front and inner liner. So, except for some reason, oh, there, it must be right here. No, what the heck? Hang on a minute. I did cut enough. I know I did because I did. There it is. Jeez, oh Pete. So it's going to be one of those videos, you guys. Can you feel it coming? Do you feel it coming right now? All right. What I've done is I have actually matted very vanilla on very vanilla. So let's set this aside and our mat aside, and we're going to start with our card front. Now, I have the wood grain stamp from the, it's actually in the Gorgeous Leaves set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp that in gray granite. And I'm going to stamp it right there, and then right there. And then I'm deciding I don't like it that dark, so I'm going to stamp it off once. Okay, so I've already stamped once, right? There, that's more like it. I like that way better. So I'm going to stamp it off again, like that. And then I'm going to take the little tiny splotch. Yeah, the tone-on-tone mat really adds a lot to it. It lets the collage just really pop. So I've got some cinnamon cider, and I've got the smaller splotch image. That's what I'm calling this, the splotch image. And I'm going to stamp it in Stamped Off Once cinnamon cider, and I'm going to go right there. And then I think I'll go right there, like that. Okay? And that is what we're going to do with that. Now, I want to talk about the baby wipe technique again, and my brain is kind of losing track of the last time we did this. I thought it was not that long ago, but then I thought, well, maybe it was. So let me show you how we're going to do that. I'll clean this little mess up right now. I've got a stamp case, And I'm taking a generic baby wipe and placing it in the stamp case. And then I have ink all over my fingers. So I think I'll go ahead and just kind of wipe those off a little bit. And for this one, I'm going to use pumpkin pie. And what you do to do the baby wipe technique is you use your refills and you just drop dots here and there on your baby wipe. Okay, so this was the Mango Melody. And then I've got some pumpkin pie. This is like the world's best inking technique for fall cards because they make perfect fall leaves and they're different every single time that you ink your stamp, and it's perfect. Hi, Karen. And then I've got a little Cajun craze, and I'm going to add it kind of here and there around. Now that baby wipe now becomes your ink pad. All right, so all you got to do is take the maple leaf stamp, and you do want to be sure you clean it off between each inking. Otherwise, if you ink and stamp and then ink and stamp again, you tend to muddy the colors a little bit. Okay, you want them a little bit blended but not muddied. All right, so let's go ahead and find a spot right there, and then I'm just going to stamp that right about here on the card front. How pretty is that? Now, I'm going to try something here to show you. I'm going to take my inner liner. Let's be sure I've got that the right one. While I have that particular inking, let's see what happens if I just stamp this right here, right now, right in the middle. I get a nice little faded image that I can write my note over. So that worked out really well. The other thing you can do is if you let your baby wipe sit open like this while you're doing the rest of your card, by the time you come back to it, it's going to be kind of dry, and you can just ink right then, and then you'll get the image. We'll do that on the envelope and see how that looks. How about that? So we can see both ways to do it. Okay, so I'm going to leave this open off to the side. Okay, now we are ready to see the things that I have already stamped and cut. So what I did is I stamped, this is from Pretty Pumpkins, and I stamped it in cinnamon cider and cut it with the matching die. And then I made 3 oak leaves. I'm pretty sure these are oak. They're either oak or maple. I don't know, okay? I made 3 of them using the same baby wipe ink technique and cut them out. I have 2 branches of cinnamon cider. These are from Intricate Leaves. And then I've got 2 of these large leaves in rose gold. This is from the Gold and Rose Gold Specialty Metallic Paper Pack. And 1 small leaf. And I'm going to show you a cute thing to do with that coloring wise. All right. So first, let's go ahead and color our pumpkins. And I'm using the light and dark pale papaya to color these, and we'll just do a quick, and you guys know that I am quite the artiste when it comes to coloring with Stampin' Blends. I take a lot of time and really think about where the sun is coming and where the highlights need to be and how to make it look round. And I hope y'all are just laughing hysterically right now because I totally don't do any of that because I am totally not an artist with this. I'm just coloring it in with the light blend like that. Maple, sugar maples. Okay, I'm going with that. I'm down with that. And then I'm going to take the dark papaya and kind of give it just a little bit of blending here under this leaf, around the outside, around this pumpkin where you might see a little shadow. See, it almost sounds like I'm an artist right now, doesn't it? It's crazy. That's just crazy, Mary. And then we'll just blend it. God, you gotta love the blender pens, right? Gosh, I love these. Actually, they're not blender pens. They're Stampin' Blends. Okay. And then we'll do the same here. Get a little bit of mention. Isn't it handy that the Stampin' Up! Designers gave you those lines to let you know how to make it look like it's round and not flat? Nobody wants a flat pumpkin. Now let me just ask y'all a question. I don't because nobody comes to our house at Halloween. Do y'all decorate pumpkins? Do you cut them out and make jack-o'-lanterns and stuff, or do you put pretty pumpkins around your front door and a real pretty fall design, you know, decorations? I don't. It's the downside, actually, of living kind of back in the woods. Wayne really likes it, but I'm not going to lie, I kind of miss decorating the house for different holidays, but it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So now I'm going to take my light old olive blend and do a quick little color on these leaves. And I'm leaving those tendrils not colored. I just am. I'm a rogue that way, okay? I'm just saying, you can color them if you want, but I'm not gonna. Can't make me. So I'm just giving those a little color, putting a little extra color on those veins that the people have given us so nicely. And then I have my dark cinnamon cider, and I'm gonna color the stems of my... And I have the dark one because it's the one I reached for. Actually, what I would use, don't be like me, go ahead and use your light one. You'll see the difference here in just a second. Okay, what happens is when I used the dark one, it really kind of hid those pretty little lines that said, oh, by the way, this is a stem. Okay, so use the light one. Okay, so that's ready. Now, let me show you another thing to do with your blends. Take this rose gold metallic paper. You could also use the gold. Gonna look different, but it's still gonna be cool. And now what I'm going to do, hey Sharon, appreciate that. Decorating the house immensely. Yes, good on you. I do miss that. We've had 0 trick-or-treaters in the 20 years we've lived here. 0. Or 18 years, however long it's been. 0. Okay, I have my dark pumpkin pie blend and my dark daffodil delight. And I'm going to color one of these leaves with the pumpkin pie. Like that, and it just changes the color. It's not pure pumpkin pie by any stretch because it's got the rose underneath it. You could also use the gold, and you're probably wondering why I used the rose gold. Well, because I don't have any gold sitting in my stash right now. Yep, it's true, I don't. But I kind of like it. It really makes it glowy. It's real glowy, and you can add some extra color in the middle there, and you'll be good to go. Now look, I'm going to do the other one with the gold blend. Not the gold, it's not a gold blend, it's Daffodil Delight. But it's going to turn out to be kind of gold. And it's real pretty. I actually don't think I would like it near as much with the gold paper as I do with this rose gold. I'm really liking how this comes out, because it does change the color, but not so much that you go, oh gosh, that's really weird. It doesn't look weird at all. If it looks weird in the camera, I'm really sorry, because it doesn't look weird at all. Looks really cool. It looks so cool. It just looks so stinking cool. All right, there we go. Okay. There you go. See, it's what was that? Halloween is pretty new phenomenon. Really? Huh. Well, that's interesting. So I guess now you guys all have Marvel costumes and stuff, but are you guys still locked down? I mean, how many of you guys are really locked down right now? It's hard for us to tell here because there's so many. It seems like Australia is locked down in some parts and not in other parts. So I hope you're in a part where you're not quite so locked down. Okay, now I'm gonna let this dry a little bit. It does dry pretty quickly, but on that metallic, it takes a little extra time. I gotta tell you, this is like one of my scariest kinds of cards to make because it's on Very Vanilla. It just, between Very Vanilla and Basic White, I feel like I'm wearing a white t-shirt and I'm eating a barbecued sandwich or barbecued ribs or something. Like, I'm just waiting, totally just waiting. All right. Now, while I make sure that dries, I've got a little strip of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to take my One Happy Family sentiment and stamp it in Cajun Craze. All right. Now, I've already checked it, but what I want you to do is every time you use a new-ish or not having used it in a long time red rubber, also aka cling, I want you to test it, preferably on something with a straight edge, so you can see, yes, it actually stamps straight. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I think it'll be better if my strip is straight. And then we'll stamp this right there, and I'm just going to hold it for a beat, and 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 a beat. Yes, Catherine, I did. I colored the metallic paper. There we go. So there is our sentiment, and it came out perfectly fine. I will take that for $1, Alex. And then I'm going to set that aside to wait until I am ready for it. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up my collage so that I can see how I intend to lay everything down. I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to put this up here. Obviously, I wouldn't know this quite as quickly the first time I did it, but since I've done one already, I kind of have an idea where it's going to go, right? All right. So I'm just laying that out, and we'll put this little guy in here. He's going to be under like that. I'm going to grab all of these and move it down to right about there. And then this little dude's going to pop over the top, and I'm going to put in a linen thread bow. I'm going to pull this down here. There we go. And then this is going to go here. What I like to do, I don't particularly like big gaps. Like when I had this right here, you see how there's a gap there? I don't like that. If you like that, do that. But it kind of just bugs me and makes me feel like I've messed up. All right. All right, there we go. Now, I would highly recommend doing at home, take a picture, okay? Once you figure it out and you know where it is and you get that aha moment, then you want to take a picture of it so that you can take it apart and put it back together. Some people like to do the press and seal method where you take a piece of that press and seal stuff and you lay it down on it and pick it all up. I just like to take a picture and put it back. But I'm not going to lie, I'm going to use my sample as kind of a litmus, okay? So let me pick this up, and I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to cut that stem off because that little stem, well, I'm going to cut that little stem off when I locate my scissors. There they are. Thanks, Pam. Thanks, Alicia. I'm going to cut that off because it kind of gets in the way, right? And so does this one. I'm going to cut that off. It makes it hard. It just makes it hard. I'm just saying, it makes it a little bit hard. So it's gone. It's paper, people. It's paper. All right, a little bit of liquid glue. Look at that. You can find a dimensional anywhere in this house. I'm just saying. It was inside the lid of my liquid glue. Remember, don't get too carried away with your liquid glue. You really don't need a ton. All right. And I like to also, when I'm making collages, I like to only glue the bottom end so that this kind of sticks up a little bit, gives you just a little bit more dimension and a little more life feeling to the thing. So you can see I'm only putting glue on the stem and the bottom of the leaf. Okay, then we're going to take, this is the one that I colored with the pumpkin pie. Make sure I don't have an extra hanging chad. Nothing worse than a hanging chad. Oh my goodness. All right. And there's another hanging chad. Hanging chad, hanging chad. That should be a song. All right, so we'll put some liquid glue on this bottom part. You can see I did cut off the stem, and then this little guy is going to go like right here. Okay, like a so. And then we have down at the bottom. I love the baby wipe technique for autumn leaves. I really do, because they're just like real autumn leaves. They're never the same twice. Really a nice way to get that different look with each of the leaves. Okay? I mean, you don't want them to be completely different because that's not right either, but you want them to be enough different that you don't go, oh, somebody just Somebody just, I know, right? Whoever thought of having dimensionals in weird places? Okay, and so that goes there. And then this is the leaf, the rose gold leaf that I colored with the dark Daffodil Delight. Can you see how pretty that is? Got some shimmer, got some shine, and then I'm going to stick it right there like a so. And I like how that stamped leaf gives you another little bit of dimension without any extra bulk. Okay, so now I'm going to take and make a single loop bow. So to make a single loop bow, it's a half of a double loop. In almost any society, single is half of double. So I'm going to hold the end between my thumb and my forefinger, and I'm going to wrap twice. Okay, so now it's a quarter. Come on, stay with me. This is why you had to take math in school. So I've done 2 loops around 4 fingers, and I'm just going to make a figure 8 and hold it together with my tweezers. And then I'm going to take another piece of the linen thread and now you could also just do this where you put a glue dot down and adhered it without this little tie. You can do however you like. I like the little tie sometimes because it just helps me keep it all together. But the glue dot is what's really going to do all the work. Okay. And then I'm going to stick it right about there. I'm going to trim that. That's just a little bit. That's just too crazy. That's like too crazy by a long stretch. All right, take us a glue dot. And we're going to put him right there like that. Okay, and then this little dude is going to go over the top with some dimensionals. Because you gotta have dimensionals. What kind of a card would this be without dimensionals? And I'm gonna put those down right about there. Put them back on. This is what I absolutely recommend, that you put your dimensionals on the card base. That way you're not trying to get them on the exact right spot on your die cut and not interfere with your bow. So does that make sense? Okay. And then I'm gonna make that a double, those double stacked. Because that's just how I roll. You know, if you have a little bit, just a little bit of glue on your fingers, you can count on the fact that you're going to have dimensional covers everywhere. Oh, thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. Thanks, Teresa. I appreciate you coming. Welcome. Okie doke. You guys, I don't know if you saw my blog post today. We gave over $1,000 to the Canines for Warriors, which I thought was awesome. Thank you all so much. You guys did so great. Okay, so then we're going to stick this right here, like so. And you have to say right here, so that, you know, everybody knows it's right there. Now, let me get my little sentiment, and I'm going to snip me a little bit of a banner end on each side. And to do that, just take your scissors and go snip right up the center, like so. And then snip from the corner to the snip, and from the corner to the snip, like so. And it's pretty straight. And if it isn't, so what? It's art. I mean, have you seen some of the things that people pay money for? This is way better than all of those things. All right, and then I'm going to adhere that with liquid glue. I am loving this card. I really, really am. Okay, so we're going to stick that down with liquid glue. And while it is sitting there, I'm going to take, remember this little guy? Let's go ahead and color him with pumpkin pie. This is the dark one again. I love pumpkin pie and Cajun craze all together in the fall. It's just the most perfect of combinations. Now, remember what I told you about this taking a second to dry? You really, really, really want it to dry, because otherwise you're going to get a little bit of ink on your sentiment. Ask me how I know. No, don't ask me, because you know how I know. You know how I know what you know, you know? Now, I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue, put it on the back of this, and set it right there, like that. And while it is drying, one of my favorite embellishments is holiday rhinestones, because they're not pink and they aren't clear, they are colored. And I've got some orange ones. I can't ever remember if they're pumpkin pie or mango melody. They're orange, okay? They're orange. And I'm just going to stick them around, a few of them here and there, and everywhere. And then one on the end of the sentimente. And the card front is done. Bada boom! Okay, now let's go ahead and see what we get for our inner liner. I have this one already. I'm going to do one more and just see if what I told you is true. It could be not true at all. We don't know. I'm going to clean off my leaf. And this is getting kind of dry. It's still kind of wet, but not like it was. All right. I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to touch it down like so. And that is way too dark, right? You don't want it, because you want to be able to write over it. So I'm going to be happy with that image. But what I am going to do is, while I have this out, I'll go ahead and stamp my envelope. And you'll see my sample if you'll look at my sample. If you'll look at my sample, which is, you know, around here somewhere. Oh, here it is. This was, I worked on the card, and then I came back like that evening and just decided to try to use my baby wipe that had been sitting, and it was really dry. And you can see how it is. So it's kind of perfect. So if you get a chance to go like make dinner and put the kids to bed, it's a perfect thing to do. Just come on back. You can absolutely stamp it. I'm going to stamp in the corner of my Very Vanilla envelope, and then I'm going to go ahead and just stamp that. And we'll do one more on the envelope flap, like that. I love this technique for fall cards. I cannot lie. And I cannot lie. I love this card and I cannot lie. That's not a song. Not a song at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and mat this up. Oh, Mary, you're sweet. Thank you so much. No, we're not going to frame it. We're going to mail it. Mail it to somebody. And we're matting this on Very Vanilla. That's the card base. I shouldn't mat it on that. Let's not do that. You could. I mean, you could if you wanted to. Mat it on Very Vanilla. And go ahead and put this on the inside of our thick Very Vanilla cardstock base. Like so. And then we'll pop the, oh, I should probably mat this, because I did not mat this. No, sir, I did not mat this. And you know what? If you don't I kind of like this tone on tone, but if you don't like it, pick one of the other dominant colors. So maybe if you wanted to, you could mat this in pumpkin pie and then put it on your Very Vanilla card base. Or you could mat it in Very Vanilla and put it on a pumpkin pie card base. I mean, you can do kind of whatever you like. I just kind of liked how this very monochromatic card front let this collage populate. Populate's not a word. Did I come in? What colors did you do on the... Oh, Nyoka. It's Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie, and Mango Melody. Those are the three colors. Okay, so I'm going to put some dimensionals on here and pop it on. And because we've already stamped our envelope, that's all there's going to be, folks. I know, I don't even keep them. The only reason I have baby wipes is for this. And this tub is like 4 years old. I'm really kind of amazed it's still got any wiping capability. If I had an actual baby whose parts needed to be wiped, it probably wouldn't work, but they're just damp enough yet for this technique to work. And I'm excited. I think now that I've kind of come back to it, you know how you kind of go away from things? I kind of lost sight of the baby wipe technique until just recently. But I think it would make really pretty pine boughs if you use different greens. Wouldn't that be pretty? Okay, so there we go. And there is our envelope that goes with this one. You can see that one is a darker envelope stamping, and then this one has the lighter stamping. And we are, as they say in the industry, doneske. Alrighty? Okay, I appreciate y'all joining me and spending part of your night with me and being patient with me starting the video cockamamie. I hope I will see you next week. Please, oh, don't forget, the Stampin' Storage fall sale is going on through Monday evening, okay? So 15% off everything in the store and free shipping on $100 or more. That's a pretty good deal. I just bought the card holder doohickey that I'm going to keep all of my finished cards in as they wait their turn to be sent to customers. So I'm excited to get that. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.